going on, you guys? This is Devin Alford. Welcome to Going to the Stables, a channel where we dedicate to the actual owner of supercars and exotic cars in this world. We feel something that's very been missed in the YouTube world is the opportunity to actually sit down with owners and discuss this on a very more personal level. Understanding what it's like to actually own these cars, to live with them every day, or just even, just now purchasing them or getting into this scene as well. And today we have our first guest, Nathaniel McCollum. Nathaniel, we appreciate you for letting us come here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And today we're actually going to be digging into his very own Ferrari that he's got back here. I'm going to let him go into depth on it. But we hope that this will show you guys really a better in-depth view of what it's like to be actually living with these cars. So with that, Nathaniel, please go ahead and tell us, what Ferrari do you currently own?
It's excuse me. It's a 488 Spider.
Okay.
It's 2018.
Correct.
And it's, I don't know, what can I say? It's Ferrari.
No, amen. It's a beautiful spec.
Thank you. It's owning one is my first one I've owned.
Okay.
Just owning one and trying to purchase one and going through the whole experience is just something that's pretty neat.
Awesome. Well, what led you to this specific Ferrari? Like with the color and everything, the interior, it looks beautiful, by the way. Kind of tell us what was really your decision on all the Ferraris out there. What led you to this one?
Well, of course, when everybody thinks of Ferrari, they think of red, right?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks red Ferrari, maybe yellow Ferrari. Exactly, the red jacket. Yep.
I'm that person.
Yep. And but it's flashy. I have a couple other cars that got a little more of the bright color to them. But I saw this one and just thought it had a little more class. It was a little more classier color, and I just loved it. When I first looked into Ferraris, or when I first discovered Ferraris, I was actually at a car show, Coffee and Cars.
Coffee and Cars, okay,
Yep.
yes, very familiar.
And walking around, and I had checked out the line of Ferraris and all the different models and things like that. And I had seen this one Ferrari, and I was like, wow. And I didn't know much about them.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really know what they cost. I knew they cost a lot.
Yeah.
Everybody knows they cost a lot. But I wasn't sure how much it was, stuff like that. So I was like, I took a couple pictures, and I said, look, if I ever, I'd like to go home and see what they cost and maybe get a used one, So I got to the house, opened up my laptop, punched in, I looked at the model, tried to figure out which one it was, and of course I picked one of the more expensive ones, or and I saw it, it was like 400 grand. I was like, oh, close that top. That's it, I'm done. Never mind, forget it. So, but then later on, I just kept thinking about it and stuff, and if you really want one and you can achieve one, it's an amazing car to own.
No, awesome. I know we talked a little bit backstage too. You said your buddy was kind of the one that led you to keep going with it.
Yeah. Well, as soon as a friend of mine, as soon as you tell him what you're interested in, he will, keep on. He'll sit at work and sit there and find them all for you and keep sending you emails and links. Yeah. Hey, look at this one. Hey, check this one out. So he kept doing that, and I started looking around at them and things like that. When I first actually decided, I was thinking, oh, the Pista,
yes.
That is a really sweet car.
Yeah, it just came out too.
They just came out, and I started looking, and I was like, oh man, the nose, the front end. So I'm like, all right, well, do you got to order one, or what do you do? So I actually called Ferrari, right? And I spoke with a gentleman, and he interviewed me basically. It was really a weird thing. Normally, you want to buy a ZR1 Corvette, you walk in the dealership, 130 grand, plop your money down, they'll sell it to a 12-year-old.
Yeah, he's got a beautiful ZR1. We'll go into that later.
But the funny thing is they asked you your age, what you do for a living, what other vehicles you own. They're asking me all these questions.
Blood type, birth certificate.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It was really funny. And I was just like, wow. And he's like, well, we don't sell to everybody.
Yeah.
Just because you have enough money to buy one doesn't necessarily mean we're willing to sell you one.
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, that's surprising. It seems to be quite an elite club.
Yeah.
Or ownership situation. But I had called him back the next day and finally got an appointment for like a week. It was about a week and a half later to go see him to talk about being able to order one. And I was like, wow. And
Fun
then,
stuff?
yeah, exactly. But then of course my buddy Pete, he kept looking for other ones, and I had found this one out in California, which came from a Ferrari dealership, but a different place had it.
They bought it through them?
Yep, exactly.
How many miles was on this one when you bought it?
I think I had like 700.
Oh, okay, so basically...
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, somebody bought it and changed their mind on the color.
Like, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but I found this one, and I went ahead and canceled my appointment at the Ferrari dealership. And once I did that, when I had called, just out of courtesy, he was like, "Oh, wait a minute, what? Did you already buy it? Because we have some other ones here, and you can come in a little earlier." But it was all good.
No, I feel
I'm really happy with the choice I picked.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's a beautiful car, and I see you've done some work to it as well. What all has kind of been your touch to this car?
Well, obviously the interiors comes with it. The color comes. It does have aftermarket tires and rims on it. The car's been lowered about an inch.
Okay.
A little bit of suspension work.
Gives a good stance.
Yeah, and then there's a company that does a lot of wraps here in town. It's called Rocket Wraps, and they actually did all the striping and stuff like that on it. But I didn't pick your typical stripes. I kind of
played around with it?
Yeah, played around with it, changed it up, and put my own spin on it.
Gotcha. No, and it looks amazing. And shout out to Rocket Wraps, by the way. Y'all did an amazing job on this car, too. And I was actually going to say, going back to kind of your experience with Ferrari, I don't know if this is true, just rumors that I've heard through the years, was Ferrari is actually very, very strict on new owners, even though the piece is not a special edition or limited edition car. It's just supposed to be the more track-focused version of this. But I hear Ferrari's always been very strict, even as far as just because you got the money, like you said, doesn't mean you get to buy the new car.
Right.
I've heard things of you have to own a pre-owned Ferrari before you can buy a brand new Ferrari.
That was one of the things they asked me. Do you already own a Ferrari?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And they're just like, oh, okay.
Well, you told me a story too about what was it? The TaylorMade area.
Oh yeah.
What happened in there?
I have no clue what you're talking about.
The room with all the steering wheels and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Last week I was in New York City with my daughter. That's what you're mentioning. So we were walking around New York City, down there by Fifth Avenue, doing a little shopping, and I seen a Ferrari dealership there. So we decided to go in there, stop in. Surprisingly, they actually had 4 cars, which is a lot for Ferrari, in the city.
Oh, nobody ever drives you.
Yeah, well, exactly. No one ever drives in just a space for anything in New York City.
Yeah.
But the cool thing was I went in, checked it out, and I saw a room they had. You could pick the seats, you could pick your leather, steering wheels, all different rims. Everything was really a cool showroom where you could go in and look at all the different stuff.
Yeah.
And the guy said, well, that's appointment only to go in there. And I was like, I really did some sweet talking to let him go in there. I said, look, I own a Ferrari, here it is on my phone. Talked to him a little bit, befriended him a little bit, and he was nice enough to let me and my daughter in there to look around a little bit. And he actually took us in there and hung out with us for a little bit.
And see, that's the best thing too, because I think a lot of people get afraid, myself included. My buddy Donzel, who's actually here with us today as well, has experienced that with me. Don't own a Ferrari myself, but always want one, and hopefully one day that'll come as well.
Right.
But I think everybody's fear at first is like, man, if I don't have the money for it or anything like that, can I just go in to look, or do they feel awkward about it or anything like that? And I think it really is just about showing them that, hey, you're a fan of the brand, you want to see the things,
Yep.
just give me a chance and let's look around and have some fun. And you'll realize that a lot of those dealers actually do kind of, they'll be lenient and they'll have a little fun sometimes with it too.
Yeah, I think if you go in, you're polite and nice and everything else, and show your appreciation for the car and and everything else, you don't necessarily have to have the money to purchase a car to go to a showroom floor.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Ferrari, Lamborghini, McLaren, whatever it is, But they are a little more touchy at the Ferrari dealership, I think, than other dealerships.
I think it comes with the name,
Yeah.
And speaking of the name, and you just said as well, when it came to Ferrari, there's Lamborghini, there's McLaren, there's Porsche, and they all have these next level cars as well, just like Ferrari does. What kind of stirred you towards this brand versus anything else, as far as getting a Huracan or an Aventador or
Right. It's a Ferrari. Ferrari's kind of known for, they've been around forever.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers, the show Magnum PI.
Yes.
Yes, the red Ferrari.
Didn't watch too much, but I know the car.
Yep,
And
yep.
actual funny story.
Before your time.
Yeah, well, but they actually have one of the Magnum PI cars here in Houston that was used in the show.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
so yeah, I've seen it around.
Yeah, it was at the Ferrari Festival, wasn't it?
Yes, Ferrari Houston. You've gone?
Yeah, I've been there.
It was a good setup this year.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any fun? Did you try to enter in on that?
I did actually. I took it there, but you have to register quite early to actually get in. It's pretty neat though. They give you a set location for your car.
Mm-hmm.
They have a plaque on the ground, tells you what year your car is, everything about it, stuff like that. But I did try and get in anyway. It's a little, I think it was $400 or $500 donation to the cause, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
So I still tried to get in, still tried to offer the money and whatever, but it wasn't happening. I did wind up parking at the end of one of the aisles. I had several lookers that noticed it and saw it. So it was still, it was a new experience for me for sure.
You gonna try it next year?
For sure, yeah, definitely.
Did you still go around though? Did you enjoy it or?
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
I was there myself. I think they got a really nice setup this year too.
Yeah, they had lots of little stuff there, shirts, different things you could purchase and stuff like that.
A lot of pieces too, and surprisingly enough, a lot of crazy specs as well. A lot of people have been, back in the day, what I've seen from Ferraris, like you said, is red exterior, tan interior, very, very set in stone.
Right.
But I'm seeing a lot of owners, such as yourself too, who get a lot crazier with their specs now, and I think it's a good thing to see too, just the creativity on it.
So I think most Ferrari owners are like, don't touch it when it comes to the car itself.
Yeah. Leave it alone.
Yeah, exactly. Most of them don't want you to change anything on it. A lot of them will frown down upon that. But I think now you're seeing, like you said, a lot more different things when it comes to it, which I pretty much like to do what I want with my cars. Not so much worried about the resale value, is me being happy with it while I own it.
Yes.
It is what it is on the resale
You
value.
drive it.
Right, exactly.
It's not a garage queen.
So as much as I can anyway.
No, that's awesome. And one thing I think that leads to that as well is I think we're in an era now. I know we talked about this a little bit earlier, but we're in an era now kind of where it's not just super old gentlemen that are owning these cars. You're seeing a lot of people of all ages.
Right.
Just I think due to the era of it doesn't require you to be this special person now to have it. Anybody can get it if they're willing to work for it.
Right.
And so I know that's something that a lot of people are curious about is what these individuals do for a living and things like that. Mm-hmm. So when it came to you, if you don't mind us asking, what is it that you do for a living that got you to get into this space?
Well, I own an electrical company.
Okay.
Like the standby whole home generators.
Okay.
We do things like that, regular commercial, residential stuff. We've been around for about 15 years.
Okay.
A blue collar company job, right? So, that's kind of different. As far as going to college, no, I did not complete college. That's not something that I want to put college down by any means.
But it's not the end of the world if you don't go.
Correct.
Yeah. Get an education if you can, but it doesn't mean that you can't achieve good things just because you didn't have them.
Exactly. I'm probably every kid's worst example of trying to push them to go to college, unfortunately, including my own children. But it's tough. But yeah, it's something that, when you get to a certain point in your life, you own a home, you get to a certain amount where your bills are, you feel like your bills are paid and you can, afford one. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with financing one. If it's something you can handle, $2,000-$3,000 a month car note, and that's nothing to you, you feel comfortable, then go for it. We're only on this earth once.
No, I absolutely agree. And you actually just said two things that I kind of want to touch on too. Was one, you said own a home. Yeah. So I've heard this from plenty of people. Own the house before you own the car.
Right.
Is that something you agree with?
Oh, for sure.
So that's somewhere where you feel like because a lot of people nowadays are buying the cars and they live in an apartment or something like that.
Right.
A lot of people talk crap, but real estate, of course, is a very big portion of financial wealth. If you look at a lot of wealthy people, they've got multiple. So you would say own the car before that.
Don't bank on the Ferrari holding its value as much as a home.
Gotcha. Okay.
I think the home's going to hold its value a little more than the car. Though they do go up in value on certain ones, but it's...
Kids buy a house first.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the next thing, what was it? You said one more other thing that I really want to touch on. You talked about the home, and then, what did you say? Something very, very funny.
Well, I did want to mention about the car itself, as far as Ferrari taking care of you once you do own a Ferrari.
Okay.
That's something that was really impressive to me. They actually have a 7-year warranty on the car, bumper to bumper, which is pretty amazing. It doesn't matter how many times the car changes hands. It's
With
the
the car
has the warranty.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't either. And when you call down, I actually, after I purchased the car, I called down and said, okay, you know, maybe I need to get an oil change just because of the time frame of the car, not necessarily the miles on it. And they're not fast. I mean, there's only, you know, usually one guy that'll call you back. But when you finally do get a hold of them and everything and make an appointment, I think it was set for about 45 days out. Before I could get in for an oil change.
Okay.
You know, but there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's free.
They're going to do their job.
They're going to do, yeah. And it's not going to hurt your car to go a little longer on the oil anyway.
And that's something too we want to get across. Is it's because earlier, of course, the conversation. It's not we're bashing Ferrari or anything like that. They have their perks and they have their kinks. And I think one thing he's saying as well is the fact is when you have this car, it might take a while because they want to do it right, but they treat you like family when they do it.
Exactly. And I think once you own a Ferrari, it doesn't matter if you own the lower model California or whatever model it is.
360
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly. If you own a Ferrari, they're going to take care of you.
Yeah.
And typically every city only has one Ferrari dealership, and that's if you're a large, city. So
No, I
something
agree.
else to think about.
I think we got 2 here in Houston, Woodlands and Ferrari.
Yeah, if you want to consider the Woodlands, Houston, you know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it's like when they're
It's
all
up their
tiny.
ways.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% on that. And I think one thing though is that's a good thing too is that you know the car's going to be taken care of. You don't have to take it anywhere else. So obviously you know it's being treated well.
Yep.
Do you think this will be your last Ferrari?
I doubt it.
Still going to try and go for the Pista or the Spider or the Pista Spider?
You know, when I was in New York City, I actually was looking at the Pista and stuff like that, and some of the ordering stuff, the stuff that you can do. They got some neat options now. I mean, there's like 15 steering wheels.
Yeah, the tailor-made organization.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty amazing. So as much as I love the colors that I found and, you know, technically picked, I don't know. They have some unique paint jobs now too.
Yeah, there's one of my favorite colors. It's called Rosso Fiorano. It's wine red. It's almost like a burgundy, but in the sun it looks almost like a fire red kind of.
Wow.
It's a really really nice color. And actually, funny enough, you have a twin brother somewhere in California.
Oh really?
Yeah, a dealership called Iluso. If you guys ever heard of them, they got a gray one, kind of like yours as well, but instead of the red interior, the blue interior.
Well, I'm glad it's all the way in California.
Yeah,
not here in
that's-
Houston, Texas.
And no, it's funny, I just came from California, so I wonder if like the owners knew each other, respect together. But no, it's still a beautiful car. And I remember now what I wanted to ask you too, going back into it. You said, you know, it doesn't hurt if you want to finance this, and I think that's a very good subject too, because you know a lot of people are all like, oh well, you can't afford the car if you can't afford to buy it outright, or you know, at least put half down or anything like that. And I think that discriminates or discourages a lot of people as well. As to man, is it okay to finance the car?
I think it is. Let's say we're going to buy a $50,000 pickup truck.
Okay.
We got to finance that.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with financing a nicer car if you have a little more money to afford the payment?
Yeah, as long as you can make it.
Yeah, I mean, if you own a home and you're making a vehicle payment on a GMC pickup truck, well, let's call it 75 grand nowadays, right? What's wrong with making a $2,000 payment on a Ferrari?
Yeah.
You know,
No.
if you don't make the payment, I'm sure they'll come take it back.
No, agreed. I 100% agree on that. And once again, just kind of going into that as well, we discussed, you know, the ownership behind it and when you feel like you're ready. When would you say, if, man, there's someone coming up to you and they're like, man, Nathaniel, I want to buy this car, man. I got a good job. I'm making X amount of money right now. This, that. When would you say is kind of like you knew it was your time to buy a Ferrari? Like,
Right.
what told you, like, man, I can do this. I feel confident with it. It's the right thing to do. Because in essence, you're buying a car. How much is this one?
Right. So this is in the mid threes.
Okay.
So you know, if you have a good dozen or so $100,000 cars and you sell 3 or 4, you can get a Ferrari.
He's got a lot of cars.
So, but someone said to me, she said, if you really like the car and you really want the car, you only live once.
Amen.
You can't take your money with you. If you own 2, 3 $100,000 cars, let a couple go. You know, It's simple
Enjoy it.
as that. Yeah.
You gonna track this?
I don't know. You know, I brought my ZR1 to the MSR.
Yeah, MSR.
Yeah. And I love going there.
Shout out to MSR.
Man.
A lot of product placement.
I don't know. $130,000 ZR1 going around the tracks, one thing. $350,000. I'm a little more nervous. I think, you know, I drive all my cars like I stole them.
Yeah.
And definitely do that in the vet. I think I would like to take it, but I think I might be a little more cautious driving it.
40 on the turns.
Yeah, there's only one turn where there's concrete wall. Other than that, you're just flying through the grass.
Oh, that's
so it's
right.
actually not too bad.
I haven't had a chance to go out there yet. I really want the opportunity to. So soon we gotta go out there see what these cars can do for sure.
Yeah.
But once again, I think it's refreshing being able to hear from someone's own personal point of view, and you know we're looking for the opportunity. And we say this in the nicest way. If you don't agree with some of the things that Nathaniel said, or you know, if you want to back him up on some things as well, come on the show. If you got the car as well, we'd love the opportunity to speak with you on it. Nathaniel, it was a pleasure. Thank you really for just letting us come to your place, talk about your car, discuss it. Hopefully, this can be an eye opener for somebody that's looking to get to that next level when it comes to things like that. I think we've talked about a lot of good things here. And I think it will allow people to get a better gauge when it comes to that.
Yeah, I think so.
So
you know, and, don't be scared to look into them. You know, if it's not now, you know, something you can look for future. You know, look forward to.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you having me.
No, we appreciate you having us. We're here for you, man. And once again, guys, this has been an episode of Going to the Stables. We want to thank Nathaniel one more time for being on the show with us. Please leave a comment below if there's any cars that you'd like to see. If you'd like to see some more of Nathaniel's, if you don't mind me asking something.
Sure.
He's got a C8 coming, so hopefully we'll have the opportunity to interview you with that as well, kind of go through the car.
Great.
And, you know, just leave a comment on what you'd like to see. Hit that subscribe button and like this video. Other than that, I hope you all have a good one. We'll see you soon.
Thank you.